I talk a lot about how insanely important the moment is. And I say that because we're so busy holding on to trying to get something that we're sitting here set on this goal and we don't realize how many insane opportunities they are. Like if you're saying, I got to get this one customer to make money, sometimes we focus so much on that customer that we don't realize there's all kinds of potential other customers everywhere. And like, for instance, if you say that I'm a comedian, if you say, well, I got to do this joke, then this joke, then this joke, and I keep this rule, then what happens if a heckler shows up? Like, it's outside of your rules, but it's an opportunity. It's funny, you know? And one of the funniest questions that I've heard is, how do I get into the moment? That question is future. How do I get into the moment? You're saying later when I get into it. I've heard people say, well, I'm going to get in the moment. I'm going to work on it for 30 days. You don't realize that when you say that, you're actually planning. You're planning. So in the moment you're saying that, you go into the future. And people don't get that you are the moment. You are in the moment right now. You literally are there. And the part of you that's checking, you know, I understand it isn't, but that's just thought. So like, you are in the moment right now. And that's the funniest thing, is to say, how do I get there? There is an insane feeling when you finally comprehend that, but you are in this moment right now. And yes, you have a backpack of stories from the past, you have a backpack of stories coming up in the future, and you are allowed to just let go of that. And the way to let go of that, someone wrote me and said, how do I let go of that? Well, you let go of it by just being okay that they exist. You know, just by being cool that they're there and not resisting. You know, if you have a story from your past that you can't get rid of, it's not the story that's bothering you. It's your resistance to that story that's bothering you. It's you going, man, you know, I hate that this keeps coming up in my brain. I hate this so much. It's your job to just allow it to. And then all of a sudden there's a second you showing up, allowing the thought to show up. So you're sitting here going, oh, I want to get over this thought, but instead if you just go, oh, cool, like there's that thought of that person that cheated on me. Hey, it's good to see you. You know, you still get that you're the moment and you're allowing this thing to flow through you like waves. That's the coolest thing. It starts to finally calm out because you start to comprehend that you are the thing observing the thought. But what most people do is they think they are the thought. It's like they think they are in a movie and they're sitting there reacting to something that happened a week ago and they're refighting it. Like they're just like, it's annoying and I can't believe this is happening. And you're sitting here in this moment, safe, responding and fighting something that happened a week ago. Like, that's craziness, right? So you're sitting here safe going, and then that person said this, blah, blah, blah. But if you started understanding that that thought showed up and how you feel about it, then there's a new you observing it, and you go from being in the movie to watching the movie. And you can't get into the moment. That's you in that level of consciousness seeking it. Instead, you be the moment and allow, like, do it right now, and allow those things that show up. And when you go, it's not working, well, you're in the past deciding it's not working even. You know, when you go, it's not working, well, how do you know? Because a second ago you checked it. Allow it. Stop resisting everything. It's not a matter of getting somewhere, it's a matter of allowing. It's a matter of just allowing the things to come through. And then when you do that, you're not resisting things. And when you're not resisting things, you're not stressed anymore. It's very hard to stress when you have this understanding because these things show up and they aren't affecting you. You're just here and then they show up and you're like, I guess that's supposed to happen. A quote Byron Katie said that I really liked is, I guess that was supposed to happen because it did. And so really think about that. Like, if you comprehend that, that doesn't mean it's supposed to happen like God had a plan. That doesn't mean that kind of thing. It means it's going to happen, and it's up to you if you're going to freak out about it. It's up to you if you're going to also get in there and decide that it shouldn't happen, you know? And that's the most freeing place to be, is when you just allow things. That doesn't mean run from it. That means just like, you know, don't decide how everything needs to be and then be surprised when something doesn't align with your set of rules. Instead, free yourself of that, you know, have a little intention, but it's like having intention like saying we're going to go to New York and then allowing the GPS to tell you the way there, you know. It'd be really annoying if you're like, we're going to go to New York, but how we're going to do is we're going to go this way, and I need to have all the directions memorized, it needs to be perfect. And then halfway there you find a detour, and you're just like, oh, I didn't know this was happening. No, forget it. Let's go back home. No, instead just allow the GPS to go, oh, there's a detour. You're going to go around this way, and then you're there. And then life becomes this journey where you can still have your own intention, you can still have your own goals, but you release this weird force and this weird stress that causes you to be some kind of power trip person who's deciding how everything needs to be. And you suddenly release yourself from all these rules. That's how you get in the moment. That's how you get there. That's how you are there, is you undo that. And it might take a few days. You're like, well, I tried it and it didn't work. Well, that's your new resistance coming in and saying it doesn't work. Allow it. Just keep allowing, That's what meditation is. Just sit there and allow these thoughts to go through, and then eventually you start to unhook yourself from those stories. And that's the most freeing thing in the world, because all of a sudden you're just this moment. Everyone watching this is just this second. Your past is literally fictional. Think about that. It doesn't exist anymore. You might be bringing it back in, but it actually doesn't exist anymore. Neither is your future. That's how you are there. Just comprehend that and allow that to be the case, and put your focus on what's happening right now and play with it. Enjoy it.